Mexico witnessed a historic moment in 2024 with the inauguration of Claudia Sheinbaum as its first female president. Sheinbaum, a physicist and environmentalist, assumed office with a promise of change and progress. She inherited a nation grappling with complex challenges. These challenges include rampant crime, a strained relationship with the United States, and a divided society. Sheinbaum's victory represented a significant shift in Mexican politics. It signaled a desire for a new approach to governance. Her background in science and her commitment to social justice brought a fresh perspective to the political landscape. However, the road ahead is fraught with obstacles. Sheinbaum faces the daunting task of uniting a polarized nation. She must address the root causes of Mexico's problems while navigating a complex geopolitical landscape. The world watches with anticipation as she embarks on this historic journey. The hope for a brighter future for Mexico rests on her shoulders. The relationship between Mexico and the United States has long been characterized by interdependence and tension. For Sheinbaum, managing this complex dynamic is a top priority. As the first woman to hold the presidency in Mexico, she brings a unique perspective to the table. The US remains Mexico's largest trading partner and a key ally in various sectors. Trade between the two nations amounts to hundreds of billions of dollars annually, making it a cornerstone of their economic relationship. However, issues such as immigration, drug trafficking, and economic disparities continue to strain the relationship. The flow of migrants seeking better opportunities in the US and the ongoing battle against drug cartels are persistent challenges. Sheinbaum's presidency coincides with a period of heightened scrutiny on US-Mexico relations. Her approach to these issues is being closely watched by both domestic and international observers. The US is grappling with its own internal divisions, particularly on immigration. Policies and public opinion on this matter are deeply polarized, adding another layer of complexity to Sheinbaum's diplomatic efforts. She must navigate not only the bilateral relationship but also the internal politics of both nations. Finding common ground on contentious issues like border security and trade will require careful negotiation and a willingness to compromise. Both nations have much to gain from cooperation, but the path forward is fraught with challenges. Sheinbaum has expressed a commitment to dialogue and cooperation with the US. She believes that open communication and mutual understanding are key to resolving these complex issues. She understands the importance of maintaining a strong relationship for the benefit of both nations. Economic stability, security, and social progress are all intertwined with the health of US-Mexico relations. However, she has also emphasized the need for mutual respect and a recognition of Mexico's sovereignty. Sheinbaum is determined to ensure that Mexico's interests are not overshadowed by those of its powerful neighbor. The US-Mexico relationship is multifaceted and ever-evolving. It encompasses a wide range of issues from trade and security to cultural exchanges and environmental concerns. Sheinbaum's ability to navigate this relationship effectively will be crucial for Mexico's stability and prosperity. Her leadership will be tested as she seeks to balance national interests with the demands of international diplomacy. It will also have significant implications for regional security and cooperation. The outcomes of her policies and negotiations will ripple across Latin America and beyond. The stakes are high, and the world is watching closely as Sheinbaum charts a new course in US-Mexico relations. Her success or failure will not only shape the future of both nations, but also influence global geopolitics. One of the most pressing challenges facing Sheinbaum is the issue of judicial reform. This is not just a matter of policy, but a fundamental question about the future direction of Mexico's legal system. Her predecessor's administration implemented a series of reforms that have been met with mixed reactions. These reforms were intended to address long-standing inefficiencies and corruption within the judiciary. Proponents argue that the reforms were necessary to modernize the judiciary and make it more efficient. They believe that these changes could help streamline legal processes and reduce the backlog of cases that have plagued the system for years. Critics, however, express concerns about the potential erosion of judicial independence. They worry that the reforms could lead to increased political interference in judicial matters. The reforms have sparked a heated debate about the separation of powers in Mexico. This debate is not just academic, it has real-world implications for how justice is administered in the country. Some legal experts warn that the changes could give the executive branch undue influence over the judiciary. This could potentially lead to a situation where judges feel pressured to rule in favor of the government. This, they argue, could undermine the rule of law and weaken democratic institutions. The independence of the judiciary is a cornerstone of any democratic society, and its erosion could have far-reaching consequences. Sheinbaum must navigate this sensitive issue carefully. Her approach will need to balance the need for reform with the imperative to maintain judicial independence. Sheinbaum has pledged to uphold the rule of law and ensure judicial independence. She has stated that any reforms will be carefully considered and implemented in consultation with legal experts. She faces the challenge of addressing the concerns raised by the reforms, while also maintaining stability within the judicial system. This is a delicate balancing act that will require both political acumen and a deep understanding of the legal system. Finding the right balance will be crucial for maintaining public trust in the judicial branch. Public confidence in the judiciary is essential for the effective functioning of the legal system. The debate over judicial reform reflects broader concerns about the health of Mexican democracy. It raises questions about how power is distributed and exercised in the country. Sheinbaum's handling of this issue will be a key test of her commitment to democratic principles. Her actions will be closely watched both domestically and internationally. Her actions will have long-term implications for the future of Mexico's legal system and the rule of law. The decisions made now will shape the judiciary for generations to come, making this a pivotal moment in Mexican history. Section 4. The scourge of crime. Can Sheinbaum deliver security? Security remains a top concern for Mexicans, and Sheinbaum faces immense pressure to address the country's ongoing battle with organized crime and violence. The citizens are desperate for a leader who can bring about real change and ensure their safety. Drug cartels continue to operate with impunity in many parts of the country. These criminal organizations have established deep-rooted networks that are difficult to dismantle. This has led to a climate of fear and insecurity for many citizens. People are afraid to walk the streets at night, and the constant threat of violence looms over their daily lives. Sheinbaum has inherited a complex and deeply rooted problem. The previous administrations have struggled to make significant progress, leaving her with a daunting task. The roots of organized crime run deep in Mexican society, fueled by poverty, corruption, and weak law enforcement. These issues are intertwined, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to break. Tackling this issue effectively requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both the symptoms and the underlying causes of violence. It's not just about increasing police presence, it's about creating opportunities and hope for the future. Sheinbaum has vowed to prioritize citizen security and combat impunity. She has promised to take bold steps to ensure that criminals are brought to justice and that the rule of law is upheld. Her strategy involves strengthening law enforcement agencies, investing in social programs, and addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty and lack of opportunity. By providing education and job opportunities, she hopes to steer young people away from a life of crime. However, the task is Herculean. The scale of the problem is immense and the resources available are limited. Sheinbaum will need to be strategic and innovative in her approach. Sheinbaum faces the challenge of restoring public trust in law enforcement. Many citizens view the police with suspicion and fear, and rebuilding this relationship will be crucial for her success. She needs to ensure that security forces operate within the framework of the law and respect human rights. Any abuses or overreach by the police could undermine her efforts and erode public trust further. Finding the right balance between security measures and respect for civil liberties will be a delicate balancing act. Sheinbaum must navigate these complex issues carefully to create a safer and more just society for all Mexicans. Section 5. The National Guard, a necessary tool or a threat to democracy. A key element of Sheinbaum's security strategy is the deployment of the National Guard. The National Guard is a newly created security force that combines elements of the military and the police. Proponents argue that it is a necessary tool to combat organized crime and restore order. However, the use of the National Guard has also sparked controversy. Critics argue that it represents a creeping militarization of law enforcement. They express concern that deploying the military in a policing role could undermine human rights and erode civilian control over the armed forces. Sheinbaum argues that the National Guard is essential for restoring security. She maintains that it operates under strict protocols and with respect for human rights. She has also pledged to strengthen civilian oversight mechanisms to ensure accountability. The debate over the National Guard highlights the difficult choices facing Sheinbaum. She must balance the need for security with the imperative to uphold human rights and democratic principles. The effectiveness of the National Guard and its long-term impact on Mexican democracy remain to be seen.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.